Okay.
All right. Hiya.
Hiya, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
That's good. So I'm going to do a little interview about social media.
Okay.
So I guess I'll just start with question number one. Well, actually, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I am Michelle Eberhardt. I am Steven's mom.
Yes. And age.
50s.
There you go. All right. So for question number one, do you use social media?
I do use some social media.
Okay, which
Yes.
ones to be exact?
I use most often Facebook. I had started using Instagram, but I felt it was a little bit it was the same thing that I was seeing on Facebook. So I
Okay.
decided to choose one because it was just a huge waste of my time spending so much time checking both.
Okay. Uh, did you find it hard adjusting to the media layout of Facebook?
No, I think it's pretty much a point and click. So it was pretty easy adjusting that way because I didn't start it until I was in my late 40s. So I didn't start right away when Facebook came out. I held out until it was absolutely necessary for me to use for group events for one of my social groups.
Okay. And like, navigating from like home to profile and like
Yeah, that
adding
was pretty
posts was
easy. Yeah, because
okay.
there's only like four buttons that I needed to learn, and then it kind of went from there.
Okay. Do you think other people from your generation fear social media and why?
I don't think people in my generation fear it. I think once they kind of tiptoed into it, they were okay with it. I think people in my generation tend to use it more as a social aspect more than a platform aspect.
Hmm. Okay. Uh, what do you use social media or Facebook in your instance? What do you use it for?
Recipes.
Yeah.
No, really, to keep in touch with friends, just to touch base on a very light social way with
Hmm.
people that I don't see on a daily basis, just to get an insight into their lives. And I do like to post a lot about um, health and good foods.
Okay. And is there anything like extra that you get out of it? Like people that you haven't seen in person or like events? Is there anything extra that you've gotten it
Yeah, there's
out of it other
yeah.
than the purpose that you use it for?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a couple events that come across my feed. Most recently was something that came across from the Biltmore Estate down in, I think it's North Carolina, and it was the tree raising ceremony. So it was only a 6 minute live event video, but I mean, it
Yeah.
was really neat, and I wouldn't have been involved had that not come across my Facebook feed.
Wow, that's very cool.
Yeah.
Uh, did you need any help from a younger person on how to use social media when you were first getting into it? A
A
little
little
bit, yeah.
bit. A little bit, yeah. Just a guide, just a little intro class. Yeah.
Okay. Um, who was it? Was it
It was my daughter, Nicole,
okay.
your
Okay.
sister.
No, that's fine. You're okay. All right, last question. Do you see social media as a positive influence or a negative influence?
A little bit of both. I think for teenagers, it can definitely be a negative influence because the pressure is so high. I mean, when I was a young girl, very young teenager, we had Teen Beat magazine and Vogue, and that was it. And social media, these young teens and tweens, I mean, the pressure is unbelievable that's put on them, and what they're facing social media all day long, every day.
Hmm.
There's personality disorders and eating disorders and sexual disorders that are rampant because of the
Hmm.
use of social media. So I think it can be very negative for younger users, but I think it can also, and for, people who want to put across bad political things, but I think it can be positive. It's with everything else in this world. If you want to use it for negative, it can be, and if you want to use it for positive, it can be as well.
Yeah. And just to dive a little bit into that a little more specifically, what age do you think somebody should get into social media at? Like, what would you say, like, the age that a parent would give their child, like a smartphone where they can use these social medias? What age do you think is appropriate for them?
I don't think that they should be allowed to before they're 16 years old. I think it's too much pressure. It's um, too adult. It can
Hmm.
be too adult for a younger person. So yeah, I
Okay.
don't think anything before the age of 16. And I tell you what, I saw an interview with one of the Facebook moguls that had designed the like button, and his children are not even allowed on social media, and nor will they be until they're 16 years old as well.
Hmm.
So
Very
I've
interesting.
seen a lot of people who are involved in the creation of social media that say their kids aren't going anywhere near it.
All right. All right. Well, that's all my questions. So thank you for your time.
You're welcome. Glad to
All
help
right.
as an older person.
All right.